Hello loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I am going right into the video. We are doing a ombre set. I'm going to be teaching you exactly how I do my ombre very easily. So I am using the Not Polished Universal tips, and I'm just taking my mandrel bit and a coarse sanding band. And what I like to do is blend the tip to the natural nail bed. This does help whenever you are creating ombre nails because it will give you a smooth surface to work on, and that is exactly what you want. You don't want any ridges on the surface of the nail because it will be even harder for you to create that ombre. Okay, so I decided to show you exactly what I was talking about. As you can see, there's that tiny little ridge. So whenever you're going to ombre, it creates a ridge that you have to infill in order to get that smooth blend. So I do highly recommend you guys do not skip this step. Blend your tip and it will make your life so much easier. For the yellow, we are using Glow Me the Money from Not Polished from their Glow collection. I'm taking a small bead of that and just placing it directly under where the nail bed meets the tip. So wherever you glue the tip, I like to place it just right below that. And what you want to do is blend that upwards towards the natural nail bed. You do want that area wherever you are going to transition from one color to another to be a lot thinner, and it will create an easier transition. So I'm just making sure that's feathered out very nicely. I want it to be super flush to that nail tip. Now we're taking Peeky Nude for the nude color that we are going to ombre down. And I'm placing that bead directly on top of that yellow color. So what you want to do is blend that out, and the key to a perfect ombre is definitely very light pressure whenever you are dragging the product down. You want to gently blend those two colors together. If I put too much pressure, it's going to create a very bulky transition, and we do want it to ombre very nicely. For the ring finger, I'm going to be using these little dried flowers, and I'm kind of just going to mix and match and see how I like it the best. We are going to be using a clear base for that. What I like to do when I'm figuring out where I'm going to place this is before I even put anything down on the nail, I like to take it and kind of just eyeball it and see where it looks good. So the next step that I do is I like to put some monomer onto the dry flowers, as it does help soften it up, and so when you go to place it onto the nail, it's not as stiff. Now I'm just taking some clear acrylic and placing it on the nail bed, and once I'm ready, I go ahead and place that flower. Now, as you can see, it is a lot easier to place it on there. My personal opinion, I do think this is kind of crucial when encapsulating some dried flowers. I have tried it where it's fully dry and it is so hard for me. So if you guys are having trouble placing any dry flowers on there, try this and hopefully it works just as well as it works for me. Now I'm just taking some more clear acrylic and placing that onto the nail, as I am going to be adding a lot more little flowers. This one in particular, I did not have to put monomer on to soften it up, as it is very, very thin and it's very easily to adhere to that acrylic. So then I took one of the bigger flowers and cut it in half. I was going to try to use this into the nail, but then I kind of didn't like how it was going to look. I just felt like it was way too much. So I decided to just add a bunch of the tiny little flowers, and I placed them above the nail just to make sure that I was going to like the placement before I actually placed it onto the nail. And I took the tiny little leaves that were falling off of the big flower, and I kind of just placed them randomly on there to fill in most of the little empty spots. Now to kind of jazz it up a little bit, I'm just taking some yellow hue chrome powder. This is very minimal on the yellow. Whenever you place it onto the actual nail, it's very, very light. So I'm just taking that and placing it randomly on the nail just to kind of fill in more of those clear spots and to give it a little bit of a sparkle. Once again, I'm just taking a small bead of that yellow acrylic and placing it under that section where the nail tip meets the nail bed. And then I'm just feathering that up, blending it up towards the nail bed so it is nice and flush. And I'm dragging the remainder of the product down. I'm going to be adding another bead on the nail tip part so it is nice and even. And of course, now I'm just making sure that that is nice and flush, kind of feathering it out a little bit more where I think it's a little too harsh. And I'm taking my nude color and placing that right where the yellow starts and feathering it down. Remember, very light pressure is needed. That is going to be key. Now, something else that's very, very important when creating ombres is going to be your product. 1000% do I believe that a really good acrylic powder is going to ensure a very nice, easy blend. The not polished acrylics are so bomb for ombreing as they have more of that thin feel to them. They're just so smooth. They're just so blendable. I do highly recommend them for any ombres. Another brand that's really good for the nude colors is the Young Nails in their cover acrylic. All of their cover acrylics are super easy to blend as well, so I highly recommend those two for any of y'all interested in creating any ombre nails. Once again, I'm placing that bead under where the tip meets the nail bed and feathering that up. So I have been asked how you do not lose the shape once you shape the nail tips. As you can see throughout my video, I'm constantly wiping the sides of the nail tips. So I'll place it, swipe, pat it down a little bit more, and then swipe on the sides just to make sure that I'm not messing up that shape. This is going to help you guys a ton. So again, I'm just placing the nude down in the middle section and then feathering it very, very lightly down. As you can see, they blend so easy, so I do highly recommend you guys invest in some good products. I have discount codes for a ton of different companies, so make sure you guys look at my description box to see what you guys like. My discount code for Not Polish is VEE88. Do not forget to use that whenever purchasing their products. Now we are going to be encapsulating with clear acrylic. I say this all the time. You want to ensure that when we go into file, we do not remove any of the beautiful design that we created, and we are going to do that by encapsulating our work. So I highly recommend you guys do this. So for the flowers, what I do is I take a bead of acrylic and kind of press it into the flowers. This will make sure that you do not get any bubbles when encapsulating your work. A lot of the time we tend to take a really large bead of acrylic to just go over the entire nail. And unfortunately, if you do not have that foundation set straight, it's going to cause bubbles and it's not going to look as cute. So I do highly recommend you guys do this first and press it in there very, very firmly. I'm taking my carbide cuticle bit. I believe this is considered a cone bit. It came in a pack of bits, so I will link that down below so you guys can check them out. I'm just going around the cuticle area and making sure that the acrylic is nice and flush to the natural nail bed. Now I'm taking my sapphire drill bit and then I'm going in with that over the entire surface of the nail just to make sure that it is nice and smooth. I'm doing this also very gently to ensure that we do not remove bulk product, as this is a carbide bit, and if you apply a little too much pressure, it will overly file the nail, and all we want to do is smooth that out. Taking my hand file, this is a peel and stick file from Tammy Taylor. I'm going in on the sides of the nails, and then I'm going to go over the entire surface, just making sure everything is nice and smooth. I do this only on very extra long nails. With shorter sets, it is a lot easier to do it with the drill bit, but for whatever reason, whenever they're long nails, I kind of struggle, and so I like to go in to make sure that it is nice and perfect with my hand file. Now I like to perfect my shape by turning the hand around to kind of see the view of the client, and then I take my file and just perfect that. Make sure it's nice and flat. Of course, using my sponge buffer, I'm going ahead and buffing the entire surface. This will show you any imperfection that you may have. And if you need to fix it, you can do that at this point. So I'm just going ahead and buffing all those nails. I'm cleansing the surface of the nail using a lint-free wipe and my swipe from Young Nails. This gets rid of any excess debris, dust, and all that good stuff. Now I'm taking my not polished gloss it and top coating that. We want to cure for 60 seconds. I like to do 2 minutes just to ensure that everything is nice and cured. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do not forget to check the description box for any info you might have missed.